All right, good morning. It's foggy. It's 29 degrees and we are going on a century ride. Let's see how we do. We're up here in Gardner, Massachusetts. We're gonna do 100 miles of gravel and end over in Fort Hill on the Vermont border near Brattleboro, if I understand all of this correctly. Should be meeting with a guy I met named Matt here in about 20 miles. Hopefully I can warm up between now and then. It's gonna be a good one. Come on, let's go for a ride. At about 2 miles into the ride now, I've realized I forgot my water bottles. I forgot to put on jammy cream. I forgot to plug in my GoPro and the battery died. So yeah, there's been a gap of time, about a half hour behind, and yeah, things are going great. All right, so after a little snafu where your boy forgot his water bottles, like an idiot, had to have his super fantastic wife come back and bring them to him. About 10 miles into this, 90 to go. But man, do not underestimate the beauty of New England and these back gravel roads. It's gorgeous, I tell you. These are the first of many down trees that were along this trail. There'd been a lot of rain, a lot of water, and you can see here I'm rolling through the ice flows. And this is just kind of a foreshadowing of what is to come. I really thought that the trail was going to be in a whole lot different condition. The locals did try to warn me that it was going to be wet, but I was so used to the rail trail types that I had had in parts of Virginia, out in the western part of Virginia, or in Virginia Beach, that I was like, well, it's a rail trail. How bad can it really be? It's going to be flat. It was not flat. It's going to be elevated. Maybe it was a little elevated, but mostly I thought it was going to be pretty smooth gravel covered the whole way. Well, let me tell you, as you can see, it was not. And my speed started off as one thing and ended up as another. But man, this scenery out here was absolutely gorgeous rolling through the fog. Your boy had a ambitious plan of 13 to 15 mile an hour pace. I don't know what it is, but it ain't that. Here we go. What the average pace for the ride ended up being was 11.1. So, you know, only about 2 miles less than the low end of what I planned for, but man, I really thought that on this bike I was going to be going a lot faster. For this ride I chose a 2021 Trek Checkpoint, and I'm pretty pleased with the way that it rode. I had a pair of Pirelli 45s on there, which handled these conditions like a champ. Not a lot of mud buildup on the tires. It shed that pretty good. Had really good traction the whole way. I can't complain about that. I had thought about using my mountain bike, but thought this would be the better option. And as we're pulling up here, Matt is up ahead, and it turns out he was on a mountain bike, a single speed of all things. So if you ever really want to feel like you're not all that in a bag of chips, ride with this guy. I am.
Hey, what's going on, Matt?
Pleasure to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
The trail is not what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Ashelot's in better condition.
Oh, yeah.
There are a couple spots.
Back there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, believe it.
I've done everything from 20 to 7.
Huh. Yeah, yeah. Nice.
I have no idea what my average is right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a crazy amount of rain this year, for sure. A lot of stuff got messed up.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, I was pulling off onto the trail.
So if you're out in Massachusetts and you're trying to figure out where to ride, Matt runs a company called Brown Dog Bike Tours. You can find him on Facebook and you can find him on Instagram. It's him and a few other guys. but he's a pretty righteous dude, and you should look him up and do some of their rides.
And then like the weekend before the trip, it was crazy. Like we were out Sunday, it was still crazy.
I got to tell you, this part of the trail was absolutely beautiful, going across this causeway between the lake. Just look at the way that the water and the sun and the fog, it was just gorgeous. People that have houses out there, man, that's some money that I absolutely do not have. Not sure I want it, because they could probably work on a whole lot more than I am. But man, gorgeous.
This is the second one I've seen. Oh yeah? Yeah, there was one a little further back. Same paint scheme too. Come on, phone.
For those of you keeping track on the map, we're going through the town of Troy, New Hampshire right now.
Yeah. And that way, like anybody that actually ends up hiring us didn't want to hire us. Yeah.
More down trees, and I thought that I could bunny hop over this thing like he did on the mountain bike, and well, I couldn't, and I went down. First time down. I think it's the only time I went down, though. A couple other times it got dicey, and the mud would just be so thick, I ended up putting a foot down, but this was the only time that I actually went down. But it was a pretty easy down, and I don't think he saw it. And if he did, he was just too much of a gentleman to say anything.
So what made you go with an egg beater over an STD?
These are actually time.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they look like egg beaters.
No, yeah, they're kind of similar. They're actually, unlike the egg beaters, these are tensionable, which I really like. And they're super easy to get in, and they release me less.
Huh.
So I've ridden bikes for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I had time was my first pedal I ever had on there. And I switched over to egg beaters when I was a kid. I raced, and I got like a sponsorship from them when they first opened up.
Wow.
And I did like them. They were pretty good. But they just kind of like eject you every so often.
Huh.
You know, and so I had switched over to SPDs, and I rocked them again for probably like 10 years. And a friend of mine this year was like had a spare set of these, and he was trying to get me to try them out. And I love them. They like just get released a little bit less, and you can tighten them down to be really tight if you want, or loose depending on how you feel.
Nice.
And yeah, they seem to work great. Plus, there's very little maintenance. We got like a nice sealed bearing, so they just kind of stay nice for a real long time,
Yeah.
I guess. Which is nice. You're not riding a lot of shitty weather, so
Yeah.
anything that can take the abuse is always good. My buddy ran his for a few years, and my first set of times, I actually gave them away to a friend, and he's still riding them.
Huh.
That was from, I was 15. It would have been like sometime in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So about those.
Yeah, after that first wreck, I was like, you know what? Why am I going to ride a bike? It's fucking expensive. And there was no damage to the bike somehow. Yeah, super lucky.
First race I ever won in a road bike race was Christian Bethel. And it's like this. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I got to like send it in and pay for shipping, and that's basically it.
Yeah, but that's a steal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got the bike off of somebody who had bought it new. He sold it here for pretty damn cheap. It was like half what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the bike shop that he bought it from just like changed it. Made it look like I bought it instead of him. Because Envy's thing is like, only the first buyer gets this stuff. And he opened up like halfway through the year last year.
Yeah.
But,
That was a successful bunny hop over a log, in case anybody missed it. This had a marker, a historic marker, as being some kind of historic stone arch rail bridge. And aside from the beautiful view, the most surprising thing was that there were no guardrails at all. And we were both kind of shocked that people were allowed to go over it.
It says straight. Go sure. Go angle to the left.
So the map said to just go straight, right there where that bridge abutment is. But we could not find anything from the road where we were supposed to go. So we went on this trail over here, It looked like maybe that was where we were supposed to go, but after you get over this rise, you see that there's the road, and then we're looking at the map, and the Garmin is yelling at us saying that we're off route, but nothing was making sense, so we turn around. We go back. Well, maybe the trail went to the right, and we have to come up that way, so we're going to give that a shot and see what happens, but once we get down there, we're not seeing what we're supposed to see.
I was gonna say I'm not above hike-a-bike.
Kind of looked like there was something over there that'd be a little more walkable.
Yeah.
So we decided to go back, and we hike a bike up into the woods, looking everywhere for something that resembles an old rail line, something that resembles the rail trail that we're supposed to be on. Nothing. And he's pointing out, well, it looks like it may have been there one time, but it was so grown up. So we finally give up, and we're like, hey, we heard bike brakes squeal down over this way where we had just come from, and we end up pedaling through these people's yards. This is absolutely not part of the rail trail. And we take the road here to where it ends.
I know this rest stop. We're in Keene. Or not rest stop, but whatever. Because yeah, when I did that Cheshire ride, or came up Cheshire Trail, came down here, and that's where my wife picked me up at.
Take a look at these bikes passing us. You think they're doing the rail trail? I hope not. Man, they're about to make me look weak as heck.
So that would have been the turntable, and those would have been all the bays for the engines to be parked in. Pretty neat.
Yes, I am a train nerd, secretly, deep down on the inside.
You know what you've been doing that ride?
Yeah.
Gonna have like different colors, you know, for the different types of hardness. And so I'm looking at it now, and it showed me like these.
Trains didn't go uphill like that. There's a second one like this. Oh.
It's really hard to see in the video, but this lady's legs, her thighs, were so beet red. It was amazing. It was so cold.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Now, that guy, you may not have caught it, but he was telling us that the conditions up ahead were really muddy. So I appreciated the warning, but we really didn't realize how muddy it was going to be. We're fast forwarding through this because it's such a long section, but a couple of things. Very rough terrain, very wet, very muddy, very slippery, very sticky, just absolute muck to ride through, but also very gorgeous. Just the ice water falls, the fog, it was just amazing up there. But man, I looked down, there were several points where we're doing 4, 5, 6 miles an hour, but I'm at 350 over 400 watts at those super slow speeds. So the incline was working against us, the weather conditions, the road conditions, but it was pretty fantastic. Now this section that's coming up here, the rock walls are getting taller, and he's going to point out some bolts. Apparently this is a pretty well-known climbing area in the winter.
Oh yeah? Yeah. That's cool. Huh?
Beautiful as this area is, a lot of times I try to think back of what it would have been like back in the day when they were running, steam locomotives through here. and then just all of the manual labor that went into building these rail lines in the middle of nowhere, blasting through this rock, getting it all moved out, you know, bringing materials in. I tell you, our forefathers, they knew how to put in some work without having the kind of heavy-duty equipment that we have today. And even today, it's hard work, but back then, it was unreal to just look at. As you can see, the road conditions are not any better. We are really pushing to get through here. But whenever you start to think about how hard you're working, you just kind of get your head up out of your computer screen and out of your legs and look around. And it's amazing.
That'd be good. I got to still get up and car there.
What's that?
I said it'll be alright. I'll take it back. Head out from Keene. Debating on whether or not to go which way to get back.
Yeah.
I think that section is pretty good too. I have read a bunch of that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, once you feel like kicking your ass, the good spot to check out is Pisgah.
Is what?
The Pisgah Range.
Oh yeah.
It's Pisgah State Park. It's like one of the biggest state parks in New Hampshire.
Huh.
So note to self, check out Pisgah Range, if I'm saying that right. And here we go for Hike a Bike Part 2. This was a careful dance to not get into water up to our freaking shins. You want to talk about cold feet later. Good Lord.
That's cool. Yeah.
Whoever the caretaker there too puts a lot of effort into everything. Neat. Good to see.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like that old historic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. There's definitely a lot of cool stuff to make. It's nice how they got it all marked out. Enjoyable. Yeah, I've been meaning to ride this for a while, and for some reason I never get up to it.
Yeah.
It'd be a good one to take the girls out. My two older girls left. Yeah, it's fun. I like being a dad for sure.
What's that?
I said I definitely like being a dad for sure. It's nice.
I'm telling you, man.
So here, the map and the geography of the land just didn't match up, and we found out later what we did wrong. But we ended up going on the road, and the trail kind of went through those people's fields and picked up at a later spot, but it really wasn't obvious, not marked well, or at all, really. So we took the road, which, if I'm honest, wasn't a terrible break, because after all those miles in the muck, it was nice to just get some rolling speed. So again, we get up the road here a little bit, and the Garmin is telling us to turn in a left here into these people's farm, which we're trying not to just like roll onto random people's property, especially private property. So we get up here, we're looking around, none of this is making any kind of good sense. So we back out, but it's good because I was out of water. We were able to hit this grocery store, get some fluids, refill, take a break, and then we took off again. It took us through this dealership to the back, but we were able to find a route, we thought.
No. Look at that. That's it right there.
You know what I mean? Because we're up here. Looks like we got a ways, so we're down there. What do you get?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, it kind of looks like it should be down there.
Yeah, it does. Actually, that nice horizontal line going straight across. All right. Adventure! All right.
And when he's right, he's right. But we get down here, and it was not but maybe another mile, and the trail definitely petered out.
What's that?
What do you think about this? Looks like over there, right? Does look like we're about at the end though.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm good with turning around.
Yeah.
That would have been a slog across that field.
Oh, it looks like it's paved, huh?
Oh yeah. Son of a gun.
So what we're talking about here is, if you'll recall, we turned into that farm before. What we didn't see was behind the barn was a paved road that went to the trail.
My vision is going.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I have 20/20. I got about 50 feet and things get blurry.
Oh really?
And I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know I've been eating
Yeah.
every 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I feel fine. Yeah. It's getting hard to see.
So here we are in the back end where we got onto the road in the first place. This, where we followed the trail back correctly, brought us to where we should have. We should have just gone around that house and then continued down the trail, but we missed it.
Nope. I wonder if it's the cold.
It was, in fact, the cold. You'll see in this article here that it talks about being outside for prolonged periods, what it does to the blood vessels in your eyes. So that's what was going on, but I didn't know that at the time. And I gotta say, it was pretty worrisome.
Chilly, chilled, not cold. Toes are numb, but as long as they haven't turned black, we're fine.
So at this point, I got a couple of things going against me. I am at about mile 55. My vision is going. The road is just constantly uphill and slogging through it and wet. And I think I'm starting to get into my head a little bit as I look back at it. But my vision had gone from about 60 feet to 50 feet to 20 feet. And it wasn't like I didn't have any peripheral vision. It was just everything was getting more and more blurry and I couldn't see. So I finally get to a point where I just don't feel safe riding and I call for quits.
Hello. Hi. I need you to hop in the truck and meet me in Keene. I'm losing my vision. It's weird. So he and I are supposed to split at Keene, and I don't trust riding by myself at this point. So, just yeah, I'm on my way to Keene. You and I should probably ride at the same time.
Editor's note, that was an overly optimistic estimation.
So whoever gets there first, drop a pin, and the other will meet them there. All right, baby. See you in a little bit. Okay, bye. Yeah. I'm gonna choose not crashing.
Yeah, that's fair.
On my own. Because yeah, this is getting disconcerting.
Yeah.
The whole house is blurry.
Huh. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what would cause it. Oh yeah, I'm tired too. I texted my lady, I said if she felt like meeting me in Keene, I wouldn't be unhappy. Felt lazy couple months.
Yeah. I've done road sentries. Never done a gravel center. In the winter.
Yeah, yeah.
In the wet. This has been a challenge.
Yeah.
I'm having fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bitching. I just can't see.
Yeah, yeah.
And that
It's fair.
scares me a little bit.
Yeah, not seeing isn't awesome.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, really weird. Because the rest of me feels like I could do 40 miles.
Yeah.
Right? It would be a,
Yeah,
it would be a
tired,
task. But, This is just, I'm following you a lot because I can't pick up my own lines very well.
Oh yeah.
So all I need is a fucking unmarked chuck hole and I'm OTB.
Yeah.
Right?
So when we crossed through this area before, we had to hike a bike over, but coming down the hill, we were able to see that we could actually just roll right through that pretty shallow section, and we did. But man, we're back in this gray clay muck that, man, it really put it to you trying to ride back up the hill. I don't know what percent grade this is, but I didn't think trains were supposed to go that steep. Maybe it's just because we were tired, it was cold, it was wet, it was muddy. Have I mentioned the wet and the mud yet? I don't think I have. But yeah, there was a lot of that. The leaves didn't help. Everything was working against us. Our average speed at this point was probably about 8 miles an hour, if I remember. And we were both putting in the work. I don't think that either one of us have a shabby fitness, but man, we burned a lot of calories, burned a lot of energy, and the road was just doing everything that it could to prevent us from being rewarded for that effort. That's okay. I mean, that's what we came out here for. And again, the scenery was just phenomenal. Look at the fog. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I can only imagine doing this in the fall when all the leaves are turning. It has to be absolutely breathtaking. And I'll let you know, because I am going to come back and do this trail when it is dry and warm and just in general better condition. You know, one of the things that kept going through my mind was, did I make the right bike choice? So my mountain bike is full suspension, 29-inch tires, and it would have really soaked up a lot of the vibration and, probably helped to reduce a lot of the fatigue that I was feeling. And maybe it would have handled the mud a little better, maybe not, I don't know. And then there's weight to think about too. So again, I'm on a trek checkpoint with 45s, but between the bar bags and the frame bags holding all the extra food and the batteries and things like that, I really wonder what the weight difference would have been.
Why do they do that?
It seems like Matt is doing pretty good on a mountain bike setup, even with single speed. Now granted, I do have about 20 miles more than he does, so maybe he's not as fatigued, but I think a lot of it has to go with gear choices. Speaking of gear choices, is anybody besides me wondering if his shins are cold? I had a nice thermal kit on, so my legs are pretty warm, and I had some nice cold weather boots for riding, which I'd never had before, and that was pretty phenomenal. And let's talk about bar mitts. Oh my god, I don't know why I'd never heard about those before. So they were so warm that my hands were sweating inside of them, and along with other pieces of gear that I forgot to bring the little warming pouches that you could like snap and warm up with. But if I had one and used them, it would have been too much. But just taking my hands out and letting them cool down, as soon as I put them back inside the bar mitts, it felt like they were heated, like I had little heaters in there. It was unreal how well they worked. So I told my wife, I said, hey, look, boots and bar mitts, because I'd borrowed both, those are on my Christmas wish list for next year.
So you've got a while before that downhill though.
That's not encouraging. I'm gonna need you to keep that shit to yourself next time.
Hello?
Hello. I just sent you an address.
Okay, you want me to pick you up there?
Yeah, it's
Okay, on my way.
it's about 2 miles from us, but
Okay.
our speed is just, it's gonna take us an hour to do 8 miles.
Okay, I'll be there.
Alrighty,
All right, bye.
thank you, bye. And if you want, we can give you a ride back to where your wife is meeting you.
So at this point, my vision had closed in so much that I just wasn't going to do it anymore on those trails. And I wasn't going to wait anymore. And it was going to take too long to get back to Keene where she was going to meet us. So we hit the road. It was going to be an easier roll and definitely much shorter with my wife meeting us. Big props to Matt for being such an awesome ride partner. We had only met online. We'd never met before today. I was worried that, because he didn't know me, maybe he would flake out, but he didn't. He pulled through, and the whole ride,
Is that a
he was
silver Dodge?
awesome. And thanks again to him for coming on out and doing that. This was a super awesome ride. I was disappointed that I only was able to complete 68.5 miles out of the 100. But again, I only got one neck, and I'd prefer not to break it on an isolated trail, with nobody around. This was just a much safer option. And the trail's always going to be there, right? So I'll come back in the summer when it's drier, and we're going to do this again. And we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching.